Well, good evening. Welcome to At Lafayette Live for Monday, May 19th, 2025. Thanks everybody for joining us. And remember, as you jump in and join us here, drop in the chat where you're watching from. It's always fun to see who's watching and from where every week in and week out. I mean, it is At Lafayette Live, so we always get a bunch of people watching here in the Greater Lafayette area in both Lafayette and West Lafayette, to Purdue County, the surrounding ring counties, White and Carroll, Benton, and all the others. So thanks so much for joining us. Maybe you're watching from a little further away, from Florida or Texas, California. Somebody popped in last week from Arizona. So normally I'd say it's a little bit warmer there than here, and actually that's still true. It cooled down a little bit again. It was downright chilly last night, it felt like. I'm not sure what the temperature went down to, but it's definitely spring in Indiana. We still have about another month before we get to actual summer. Let's see. December, winter began in December. So spring would have begun in March, and summer will begin in June, despite the fact that school's almost out, and for kids that means summer. So it's the summer season. It may not be the official astronomical summer, I believe is the word I'm looking for. So anyway, great that everybody here. Now let everybody trickle in for just another minute or two before we get started on everything going on here in the Greater Lafayette area and everything that we want to talk about. Anything exciting going on where you guys are watching from? Drop it in the chat below. Sometimes I can catch some of it. Sometimes it's a little harder to keep up. So yeah, it's been busy around here, wrapping up everything for the school year, as it were, getting all the T's dotted and I's crossed to wrap up the seasonality of life here, going out of spring and into summer. So, all right, well, if you join us after this, you'll get caught up. You can always go back and watch the recordings. So let's start with a few things going on around town. It is coming up next weekend on Memorial Day. So in addition to the regular Memorial Day celebrations, the city of Lafayette is kicking off its bicentennial 200th anniversary celebration. They're going to start with a weekend of fun and events out at Columbian Park the entire weekend. So if you're going to be in town, if you're not traveling and you don't mind braving some crowds on what's going to be a busy Memorial Day weekend, go out and have some fun. The train ride, pedal boats, the Columbian Park Zoo are all going to only be $1 on Saturday. So that's a deal. I mean, it's affordable to begin with, but dollars even better. So you can go do everything for $1. Ride the train, pedal some boats, go see the eagles and the monkeys and my kids aren't in here to tell me what other animals are at the zoo, because I'm going to draw a blank on that. Throughout the weekend, the Tippecanoe Historical Society is having a bicentennial exhibit in the Carousel building, which is, I believe I last saw, still doesn't have a carousel. So this has been a display that they've had in their facility for, I think, a few months now. They're going to bring that over to Columbian Park, talking about the first 200 years of Lafayette. And around that same area, around Memorial Island, they're going to have a bunch of food trucks. On Sunday, they're going to have a open field day at Loeb Stadium, and I couldn't quite find the details. Oh, wait, here. This might be the details on what's going on. No. Interesting. I couldn't find the details on what that field day meant. I assume it means you can go out on the field, and I assume they'll have some sort of skills challenges and stations out there, I'm guessing. But if you want to go experience the field of Loeb Stadium from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Sunday. And then on the video board that evening, they're going to show Finding Nemo. I'm sure there's a thought there as to why that fits the theme. I'm not sure what that thought is. And then on Monday, Memorial Day itself, there's going to be at 1 p.m. on Memorial Island, the Tippecanoe County Veterans Council is having a keynote speaker, Colonel Seth Brecher. And finally, in the evening, the Riverboat Ramblers. The Riverboat Ramblers are going to play at 6:45, followed by the Lafayette Citizens Band playing in the shelter in the amphitheater there on Memorial Island. at 7:30 on Monday. So go check all of that out. There's a whole lot going on to start celebrating the 200th anniversary of our great city. So if you're looking for something to do on Memorial Day, if you haven't figured out your plans yet, you should definitely consider doing that. And the other thing that you should consider doing, no, you shouldn't consider doing it, you should do it, is hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss a minute of all the great content that we put out here on the Lafayette Reel and every Monday on At Lafayette Live. Next up, another event that we're going to talk about, get this right. The Downtown Lafayette Business Association hosts a bi-monthly block party in the summer downtown on Main Street. This year, the dates are May 30th, July 25th, and September 26th. And the first one coming up here on Friday, May 30th, be the week after Memorial Day weekend, is their celebration of Lafayette's birthday bash. They'll have dining in the streets, live music, some family fun and games, vendors out there. It's always a good time with events down on Main Street. So if you're looking for something to do on May 30th, it's a Friday from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, go enjoy our downtown area out on Main Street, all the vendors down there, all the fun to be had down there. And the other fun that you can have is by making sure that you're always up to date with everything here on the channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. Next up, this is a little bittersweet, I think. The downtown branch of the United States Post Office here in Lafayette is moving. So the Halleck Federal Building, which is on the corner of 4th and Ferry, it's a big stone marble building, looks like a federal building, if you will. The post office has lost its lease there. I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes on that, but the courts that were in that building moved out back about a year and a half ago, so there are no courts left in that federal building. It's only the post office. So they are going to close that post office and relocate somewhere else downtown, hopefully. We don't know where yet. The General Services Administration are obligated to help USPS find a new lease, and their goal is to find somewhere downtown so they can maintain that service area, because we've got the post office, the main branch down on 26, and then just across the river over in West Lafayette. So we really kind of need to keep that one downtown. They're not going to close the main post. They're not going to close this post office in the Halleck building downtown until they've identified the process going forward for where they're going to go. So it's not happening tonight by any means, but it's coming. So kind of sad. It's a building that was built in 1931. It was authorized to be built in 1931. That, like many buildings downtown, was designed by Walter Scholler. And if you don't know that name, he also did the master plan for Purdue's campus and a bunch of other downtown buildings, the Wells Memorial Library, which is the Arts Federation, the Long Center for the Performing Arts, and any number of other buildings around town and indeed around the country. The building was originally opened in 1932, and if you go inside, you'll find a couple of murals in there that were originally painted back in 1936. It is indeed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1983, and it was named for Representative Charles Halleck, who was a Jasper County Republican, and he was actually majority leader from 1947 to 49, so a 2-year stint there, and from 51 to 55, so 4 years. So that's something you may not know. The future of what that building is going to be and where the post office is going are unknown, but if you hit the like and subscribe button, you'll make sure to find out here on At Lafayette Live and the Lafayette Reel. If you saw the list of things that we're going to talk about today, one of the things was on the list was lake life. It is the season. It's summer. Okay, well, it's not summer quite yet, as we established back at the beginning, but it is the start of the summer season here coming up at the beginning of June. Well, the end of May, really. Here, Memorial Day is kind of the traditional start to summer here in America. So I thought today that we would look at 3 lake houses currently for sale. If you're looking for a place to get away, these are all located up on Lake Freeman, just north of us. All have Monticello postal addresses, and we'll go through and talk about the pluses and maybe minuses of living up on the lake. We're going to begin with 5793 East Pierce Road in Monticello, and I'm going to bring up the map here on this one. Here we go, map. Let's try this view. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. So we're looking at right here. This is Lake Freeman, and as we zoom out, you'll see the lake that is indeed created by the Oakdale Dam down here on the Tippecanoe River. And you see the Lake Freeman really is just kind of a wide spot in the Tippecanoe River, but I'm just going to zoom out a little bit more to kind of, for any of you that don't know, that give you perspective on where things are in relation to Lafayette, because this one might be a little bit further than we're used to talking about here. So up here at the top is Monticello. Here is the home. Here is 5793 East Pierce Road. And here down a little bit to the south and west is the Greater Lafayette area. So I actually have friends that live up here and drive in every day for work. It is a half-hour drive or so. If you live a little further south, it's probably more like 25 to 30 minutes. If you live a little further north, closer to Monticello, it's probably more like 30 to 40 minutes. So it's a pretty easy drive, and whether you're living there full-time and commuting into Lafayette, or if you are using this as a summer getaway, or if you are living here but working locally in Monticello, it's certainly a great option. This one is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,556 square feet on almost an acre, 0.84 acres. And at the end, we'll talk about how much it's currently listed for. So again, this is 5793 East Pierce Road in Monticello on Lake Freeman, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,556 square feet, 0.84 acres. And just some of the highlights, it's been updated, 2 bedrooms up, 1 down. They have been updated. There's a gas fireplace. There's a large living area downstairs, and we'll see that it's also got a deck and dock access to Lake Freeman. So there is the front with the 2-car attached garage, and you'll notice, of course, lake houses are all about the back. We're looking at the front here. Lake houses are it's all about how the back is designed. That's just the way that it goes. And there we go. There's the back deck. And we'll see that this one is maybe a little bit of an exception to that rule. And that's because it's not right on the lake. It's actually set back from the lake, and we'll see that here in a moment. But nice raised wood deck with a great view of the lake. You can see that view here. But here's our path down to the lake. So here's the house. And on down this way is the dock. So you can come down the path here. Here's the ramp into the lake just off to the edge here. And I would imagine that you can you're pretty neighborly out here. Probably walk through your neighbor's yard after you get to know them. But it's, I believe, this dock right here. Aerial view. We'll continue on. Yes, indeed, I was correct on that. So this one's got the lift for the speedboat and the jet ski. That's, of course, easy enough to change out. Lovely updated kitchen. I believe those are quartz countertops in the neutral tones that are all the rage these days, a little off yellow and some brownish tan beige going on here in the kitchen with the suspended range hood, eat-in breakfast area. Got the spice rack kitchens and the built-in wine rack down here. So this one has been updated. You have the double oven in the wall there. Make lots of pies. Gas fireplace with TV too high over the mantle. Lots of great views out to the lake. So when it's cold and frigid out there in the winter, you can enjoy the lake without having to freeze. Don't know why people insist on putting the TV above the mantle. How do you feel about that? I think it's silly. I don't want to crane my neck to look at the TV. I also don't want my formal living room to be the TV room, but that's a whole other conversation. And you see just a large great room area that they kind of subdivided into a dining area and a living room area. We head into one of the updated bedrooms. We'll call that the blue room. Then we head into the green room that has the ensuite with the large tile work shower, double basin sinks, again with that neutral modern color palette. This one has the seafoam green walls, evoking bathroom, frosted windows there, large tile, subway tile, I think that's a little larger than subway tile, sink. We got the soaking tub there next to the sink. I meant shower. Soaking tub next to the shower. We head on to the laundry room. Another room. This one's set up as an office. It does appear to have a closet, so that could be a bedroom. It's right off of the great room. We head downstairs, and this is the living areas and bedrooms downstairs. And you can see the upstairs has been updated, and the downstairs still needs some work. Certainly livable as it is, but it's kind of got the 1970s paneling still on it. Got the drop ceilings, so certainly usable. Could be a rec room. I mean, this is probably a bedroom. This is a bedroom here, I should say. But you know, you could redo this and make it more modern, or you could just leave it set up as is. Plenty of space down there for rec room, game room, movie theater, whatever you want to make it office. You can see there's actually a fully functional kitchen down here. We got the stove and range, that's the same thing. Stove and oven with the fridge and smaller sink down here, but you can have a little mother-in-law suite, teenager suite, whatever you want to have it downstairs. A little separate living area. They've got this one set up as living room. And this one has the sliding glass doors out onto the back porch. This is the actual porch, not the deck. And here's the downstairs bedroom. So that is 5793 East Pierce Road in Monticello. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,556 square feet, 0.84 acres. That's one of the biggest things it has to recommend it. It is currently listed for $674,900. It has been on the market for about 5.5 weeks now. So if you're interested in living the lake life and you want to have beautiful views and your own dock, give me a call or send a message. All of my contact information is right here. If you're watching on your TV, you can pick up your phone and scan this here QR code right there. And that will load up all my contact information directly into your phone. But you can send me a text right now at 765-413-6190, and it'll pop up on my phone right here in front of me, and I'll answer you when I'm done with this show. What do you guys think about that one? Buying it? Not buying it? But you are hitting the like and subscribe button. I know that. We're going to move on to our second lake life house here in White County on Lake Freeman. And the next one that we're going to look at is 3007 South Brentwood Place. And let's put this one on the map here. Let me get the second map set up. So here we go. No, I went to the wrong one again. Good at that. All right, here we go. So this one's just a little further north up on the lake. Right here, here's Airport Road. Here's the White County Airport. And again, if we zoom out, we'll see this one's definitely closer to Monticello. Here's Monticello right here. As a matter of fact, you could see one of my favorite places to go in the area, the White Horse Winery right here. Here's where the Madame Carroll docks, if you're familiar at all with that. So this one's definitely a little further north, but it's not all the way north. Again, this is only a half-ish hour drive to Purdue University, so very, very doable as a primary house. Great as a summer home. Great if you're living in the Monticello area. So let's take a look. This is 3007 South Brentwood Place in Monticello. This one is 5. I ruined the surprise. You guys didn't see that. This is 3007 South Brentwood Place in Monticello. This one is 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,172 square feet on about half an acre, 0.56 acres. And as you can see, it has 3 bays of garage. You have 100 feet of Lake Freeman shorefront frontage, 5 bedrooms. There's a boathouse that is 30 by 50, dual jet ski lifts, has a 2-space boat lift. There's a in-ground pool that we're going to look at, a hot tub, a gazebo, and there's a chairlift that takes you down from the house down to the lake. So again, like I said, many, many lake homes are all about the back side and not the front side. And this one's not a terrible looking front side, but it is a little utilitarian. It's very much like, here's my garage. That's also a modern thing. But here's the back, and you can start to see a little bit of the character of the house. And the character of this house, the two things I would call, a couple things I'd call out on it is brick. Great for insulation when you're out there and the wind is blowing around and the snow is falling in winter. Lots of windows, so lots of views out to the lake. And this 3 or might be a 4-season sunroom there. A little more attractive edge on instead of at the angle. And you can see the front porch has the swing and rockers. There's the view of the sunroom. I think that is a 4-season sunroom. And you see the in-ground pool here and the garage that actually passes all the way through to the pool, makes servicing your pool area very, very simple. Moving into the bedrooms, you can see this one's kind of very much set up as a lake house. It has 3 day beds in it to the point that they're even blocking the closet there. Very, very proud of the outside. There's the pool, and you can see it's actually got the retractable pool cover there, so you can actually use that during the season. Moving inside to the kitchen. This one doesn't have all the cool tones. It's been updated, but it's got the warmer tone, kind of honeywood look on the cabinets, and you got the darker combination subway tile there. Double oven in the wall with the microwave over the range. Eat-in kitchen with plenty of space at the island. Move into one of the bathrooms. Boy, these pictures are not in order. Slate tile shower, single bay sink. You have the jetted tub. I guess you can call that a soaking tub, but it's a 1-person tub, and you can watch TV while soaking in the tub. I'm sure for some people that's exactly the feature you're looking for. There's the pool in the open position, and if you look closely, you can kind of see these tracks running down the side of the pool, and that is for the cover. So you can, on some of these, you can push a button and it will automatically close. But look at that deck. We're kind of bearing the lead here a little bit. You can sit here and swim while enjoying your view of Lake Freeman. Here are the steps going down to the lake, and these are a little bit, steps of death. But the this particular portion of the lake, the homes were built up a little bit higher, which is good. You're not going to flood down to your 5-space boathouse, and then there is the chairlift that goes down as well. Moving into one of the other bedrooms, fairly basic. You got laundry room, lots and lots of room to dump off all your dirty lake wear and swimsuits, get them into the washing machine. I can see you. See if I can see who this is. Who is it that I'm seeing? Sorry, I just got to check this out, see if I know who this is. I mean, I know, but as I'm making my notes. Okay, moving on, sorry. I mean, you get hung up there on a bathroom. Continuing on. Giant living area. Big wraparound couch in here. Got the gas fireplace in the corner, and there's the sunroom with the hot tub in it. Really, really enjoying those views of the lake. Here is the pergola immediately adjacent to the pool. Moving into the master suite, and that's where we can see the TV. You can almost see the TV in the bathroom from the bed. I wonder if that's on purpose or if that's just by chance. Got some glass French doors that go into that room there. Updated heat and air. Hot water heater, yes, proud of that. There's some lovely sunset views over the lake. That's got to be sunrise. This back porch would look east, not west. So that's sunrise. Then we move down to the boathouse, and you can see all the lifts down there. So you can have a speedboat, a pontoon boat, and I believe 2 jet ski lifts is what was listed there. And in addition to the TV in the bathroom, there's also a TV at the pool. So yay TV. So that is 3007 South Brentwood Place in Monticello. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,172 square feet. Has an in-ground pool, 5-space boathouse. It is currently listed for sit down $1,149,000. It has been on the market for about 6 weeks now. So if you're interested in lake life here in the Greater Lafayette area up on Lake Freeman, give me a text or a call, 765-413-6190, and I will get back to you as soon as I get off of this live stream here in a little bit. And while you're doing that, also hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss a minute of all of our great videos and reviews, tours, fun things to do around the area, great places to eat, just all the stuff here in the Greater Lafayette area. But we're going to move on to our final home of the evening. This one is 2715 South Airport Road, again in Monticello, and we'll place this one on the map, and this time I will get it set up properly on the first try. There we go. So again, continuing to move a little bit north here. Just a couple feet north, really, because here's the White County Airport again. So we're right here. And if we zoom out, for those of you who don't know, Monticello, here's the house on Lake Freeman, and here is Lafayette, West Lafayette. So this is a roughly 30-minute or so drive into Purdue University. So it is a commute, but you can live here and work in the Greater Lafayette area. Clearly, you can live here and very easily work in Monticello or any of the other small towns around. Or you can use it as a summer getaway lake house. So let's take a look and enjoy a tour. This one's a little different from the first two. And the reason why is this is actually 3 homes. It's on nearly an acre. Nearly an acre. You got 100 feet of waterfront. But there are actually a few buildings on this property. The main house is two bedroom. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath cottage with wood decks. But then there are 2 additional guest cabins, in addition to an oversized 2-car detached garage. So this one's a little different. You could use it for extended family. This one definitely lends itself a little more towards like summer lake getaway. You could use it as an Airbnb or VRBO. You could use it as a short-term rental. You've got some options here. This one's a little different from the normal homes that we look at. But this is 2715 South Airport Road in Monticello. Again, 3 buildings. The main building has 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,400 square feet, and then there are the additional 2 guest cabins. So this is the main home, and you can see the deck looking out over Lake Freeman towards the east. This one needs a little bit of love on the inside. This one definitely has 1970s getaway cabin vibes in it. And at the very least, it needs some cleaning, some new carpet. It could use some new paneling, some love, and some refinishing, but I won't quite say that it's like livable as is. It's going to need a little bit of work to make it livable, and you can decide the level to which you want to take that. But looking out the bay windows, you can kind of see the guest cabins across the way. And as we continue on through, definitely got the 1960s, that's probably late 60s, green pile, shag pile carpet. The kitchen feels a little bit dated. You have the countertop stove with the griddle built in, but pretty awesome that you've got a view of Lake Freeman while you are standing here at the island. And again, this one, as we'll see, we'll talk about the price at the end. The price makes a little more sense on this one, I think. Moving into the bedrooms, really needs some work here. That bathroom, you need to rip that out and start over. You're really buying the shell, you're buying the guest houses, and you're buying the lake frontage. That's what you're buying here. Continuing to move through at a rapid clip because these rooms clearly need help. The outside is probably the best looking part of this property right now. So that was the main property, but we can see the two guest cabins over here just to the left of the main building, as well as the attached garage. There's a fly flying around in here. Sorry about that. As I said, almost an acre, 0.97 acres. You got lots and lots of land. We'll pop into the guest cabins. In many ways, the guest cabins, while they are crowded and cozy, are in better condition than the main house is. You can see very much eat-in kitchen with a bedroom. This is definitely, a lake house setup. You got a 2-car garage where you can store your gear. Continuing to move on. Lovely wooded lot there. Again, looking down at the lake. I want to go in and take a look one more time at the map, but that is 2715 South Airport Road in Monticello. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. The main house, 1,400 square feet on almost an acre, 0.97 acres. 2 guest cabins and a 2-car garage. Most definitely needs some love and care. But I wanted to look and see what... I'm going to look and see in another map if the imagery is any better. The imagery that I normally show on this doesn't really show the lakefront very well on this. Let me pop this address into one other map, see what it looks like. So this one doesn't have a boathouse. It most definitely has the land and the approach, but you would have to set up a pier. So, but like I said, this one priced a little more appropriately. Is it the exact right price? I'm not sure, but like I said, 2715 South Airport Road, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths in the main house, 1,400 square feet, 2 guest cabins, a 2-car garage, and you do get 100 feet of Lake Freeman frontage. Currently priced at $339,900. It has been on the market for about 5 weeks or so. The condition of the main house says that maybe this is a little overpriced, but you are getting 4 structures. You're getting a main house. It's a small house. 2 guest cabins, a garage, and most importantly, you're getting an acre, and you're getting that 100 feet of Lake Freeman frontage. So the condition of the house versus what everything else that you're getting, it's probably priced about correctly. Maybe it's a little high, but if you'd like to have that conversation, if you're interested in buying a lake house, if you're interested in maybe in an investment property, maybe getting some money, summer income coming by renting out those 2 guest cabins. Heck, you could rent out the main cabin. Shoot me a text right now, 765-413-6190. Or if you're watching on your TV, you can scan this QR code and it will load my contact information directly up into your phone. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you so much for watching us here on At Lafayette Live. We'll be with you again next week on Monday, May 26th for our last At Lafayette Live of May. I hope you really enjoy your week. I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. And actually, as I say that out loud, our next At Lafayette Live is actually scheduled for Memorial Day, so I'm not sure if we're going to do it or not. So hit the like and subscribe button so that you can find out ahead of time if you need to take the time to join in with us next week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time on At Lafayette Live.